All right, it's Donald Dees here with Dees Bees Apiary down in Aberdeen, North Carolina, and I'm out today feeding some of my nukes and some of my hives that went from nukes into regular 10 frame hives that they've done so well. I moved them on in there. Plus I've got a couple that I've got boxes on that I took honey out of that bees cleaned up. I just haven't taken them off yet. So what we're going to be doing today, I've already gone and got the jars off of the hives, and you can see all the jars are off, and I'll be filling the jars. And the way I feed them here, a lot of people do internal feeders and front feeders and what have you, but I take this little piece of composite that I cut in a square, and I drilled a hole in it to fit the jar, and then put a piece of 1/8 inch hardware cloth underneath it, and then put some silicone under there, and then drill the holes in the corners, and then countersunk them, and then screwed a decking screw in, and then sealed it all down, and then went around the edge of it here with a bead of silicone, and that keeps the water out. And I hand fitted each lid, each hole. So I took a pineapple bit and routed it out, and I'd check the lid, route it out some more, check the lid until I had a nice snug fit, because this hole cutter is about 2 millimeters too small, so I had to route it out, which gave me an opportunity to custom fit each lid to each feeder to the lid. So anyway, so what we done, I got a 65-gallon tank, and depending on the time of season and how much I want to feed the bees and how concentrated I want it, I'll put a varying amounts of syrup in here, and then I'll top it off with less water if I want heavier syrup and more water if I want thinner syrup, like in the early season. As I get later and I'll check the weight of these hives, and if they're light, then I'll put about 30 gallons of syrup and maybe 40 and top it on up to 45, which will be about 15 gallons of water. So that'll be a 2 syrup to 1 water, which is pretty heavy, and it don't take them but a week or two using the jars. And then I got bucket feeders down here that I use. So these are the 5-gallon bucket feeders. So the hives are really light, which they were earlier in the season. I'll fill up 3 of those bucket feeders and the jars on top of the hives, and it won't take but about 2 weeks and 2 or 3 feedings with all of this to get these bees enough food in their beehives so that they can successfully overwinter. So anyway, that's 2.5 minutes. That's a bit too long for you guys, I know. And just hang in there, stay with us, follow us along. Beekeeping, plain and simple. Thanks. Dees Bees Apiary of the Sandhills.